my beautiful people. Welcome back to Grown Folks Business with Stephanie and Keith. Today we're going to be talking about these New Year's resolutions we've all made. How you doing today, Keith?
I'm just fine, Stephanie, and hello to everybody listening.
You know, we all make these New Year's resolutions all the time. You know, at the top of the year, we all make all of these promises and commitments to ourselves, but I see a lot of us don't really stick to it. You know, not sure why that is, but we don't. I've stopped making them, me, myself, personally. But I was at the gym the first couple of weeks of January. It was packed that first week. I called my cousin up this morning, and I was like, let's go back to the gym tomorrow because I like the vibe. I like being around all these people. And she was like, girl, the gym is practically empty. So I see that a lot of people have fell off on their resolutions. Keith, do you have this struggle, or are you one of those that make these resolutions?
Well, I'm a person that's not real big on resolutions. I'm a person that's real big on just having something that you want to do, something you want to accomplish, and then kind of head down that road until you decide differently. Because a resolution, to me, you're putting a whole lot of energy and emotion into something that you may want the end goal, but you may not really want to go through what it's going to take to achieve that. And I think it should be more about the journey than the destination, because everybody wants to arrive at a destination that they see that might be fulfilling. But if you don't really look at the journey, it really may be a waste of time and emotion, because that journey, if you really think about it, may not be something you're actually willing to do. Where if you think about the journey first, the destination will take care of itself.
This is true. This is true. And don't get me wrong, I used to be one. I used to make a bunch of them back in the day. You know, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to gain muscle. I'm going to do all of these things. But I never really, stayed with it. Now it's just about, like you said, setting a goal for myself and then, sticking to that goal. Not really putting a time frame on it. Just know that this is something that I want to do, and just taking initiative to start doing that, making sure that every day I'm working towards that goal. But I know that a lot of us, we really take a lot of pride in these New Year's resolutions, and they can also be very discouraging when we don't meet that mark. So, that's why I just said, what's the point? I think that in order to stay with any of those things, may it be a New Year's resolution or may it just be a goal that you set for yourself, I think that at the end of the day, you need a strong why. As long as you have a really strong why, I think that's what's going to keep you going even when you don't feel like it, or whatever adjustments you may have to make. I think that why will help you with that. What do you think about that?
Well, depends on the amount of internal sacrifice you're willing to go through to achieve what it is you say you want. Most people want certain specific things, but the more general your want, the harder it is to sacrifice to get them, because they're so general. If your want is, I want to be happy, I want to be fulfilled, that's too general. If your goal is, I want to gain muscle, I want to lose weight, I want to have a new car, I want to live in a different area, well, that's a more specific goal. So it might be easier to plan a way to get there. And once you plan a way to get there, then it's just about, are you willing to give up and sacrifice enough for a long enough period of time to achieve that? But you'll be able to see that you're getting closer and closer as you continue what those specific steps that you need to do, whether they're on a daily basis or weekly basis or a monthly basis. Because anything you can't track daily, weekly, or monthly, that's something you haven't got a good enough plan. You need another plan to get there, because you should be able to track progress. You just don't start something and then all of a sudden you have achieved it. Life doesn't work like that. It's a journey. And who's to say how long the journey is, and you shouldn't even think about it. You should just say, I'm going to start and I'm going to track my progress every so often, whatever that so often is, and then I'll see, am I, number one, achieving it? And number two, is this giving me some of the satisfaction that I feel? Like I said, you can track progress if you want to lose weight. You can get on the scale every other day. You're going to see if you're losing it. You're going to look in the mirror and see if you're gaining some muscle tone and losing some fat. You're going to be able to look at your bank account and see if you're actually saving money. towards something that you want to buy, something that you want to be able to have, you're going to be able to track that progress.
Right. Yeah. So for me, it's about having a stronger why, though. Like, that has helped sustain me. So like working out, I used to work out on and off, on and off. What has kept me consistent was really finding a deep enough reason why I wanted to do it. And so my reason for working out is because I wanted to see my best self before I leave here. I want to see what I can do before I leave here, as far as physically, mentally, and spiritually. So that drives me to get up on those days, even when I don't feel like it. Because I think the most important time to do, to meet these goals is when you don't feel like it. Because if you can do it when you don't feel like it, man, you got it in the bag, right?
Sure.
So that helped me. But when my goal was just something like you said, general, to where I want to lose weight so I can fit in these jeans, or I want to lose weight so that I can just be sexy and have a good body. Well, those didn't really sustain me. But when I really said, Stephanie, don't you want to meet your best self before you leave this earth? And it got me up out the bed on them days where I'm like, I just wanted to roll over, or them days where I just didn't feel like working out. I would just picture my best self like, yes, honey, I'm about to do this. So I think having a really strong why can really sustain you if that why is really strong. It'll get you up, just like how a lot of us go to work and we stick with these jobs and we do what we got to do because we got that strong why, which is our family, our kids, they got to eat, they want to go to school, they want nice things. And so that get us up even when we don't feel like it. What you think?
I think all that is very true. But I just like to, at least going with the analogy of the gym and working out, I do that. I try to do it regularly. I try to do it 3 times a week. I'm really big proponent of lifting weights, especially for men, men as they get older. There's a bunch of, health benefits that are all over the place. All you have to do is Google it up if you don't believe it. But the reason I like doing it is because I've been going to the gym long enough, and shout out to Cornell McClellan. He is the person that first got me into a gym. He is a superior big-time personal trainer out there in the, DMV, District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia area now. And he was the first one that took me into a gym and showed me different workout and weight routines for weight to hit all different muscle groups all over the body, from your calves all the way up to your shoulders. And once I was able to master some different workout routines for different muscle groups, I was able to be able to go to the gym by myself. And then I picked up various workout partners over the years, and right now I'm back to being solo. But those weight routines, because I finish the routine when I go, I'm able to sustain my workout long enough that it actually changes the way I feel. I can feel lethargic, not really feeling it. Sometimes I've even felt like, oh, I'm not going to make it today. So I just say, well, let me just go ahead and try to hurry up to get through this routine, because once I walk through the door, I'm going to go through my routine, and my routine requires certain equipment, certain number of sets, certain number of reps, and it has not failed me yet. By the time I get at least halfway through my routine, that feeling of lethargy or not wanting to be there is gone. And by the time I leave the gym, I get that feeling, this is why I came. This is the feeling that I want. This is why I came to the gym. Now, in the beginning, when I first started working out, I didn't really have that. I can't say how long I worked out before I started having those feelings. But if you work out with a system, you're going to eventually get there. And now that I'm at the point where I can feel that, I just can't stop.
Yeah, working out does become addictive. You start to feel guilty, when you miss them days, definitely. And yes, you do see the results when you really being consistent. That'll keep you going. But for some of us, the results, you might not see them right away. I mean, you might feel the change. You might have a little bit more energy. You're going to feel good about yourself. But sometimes we don't always see the results that we're looking for right away. And so that could be kind of discouraging, which is why I need to hold on to that why to keep me in there. And that kept me consistent. When I went that way, it kept me consistent. 3 days a week, strength training, cardio twice a week. And then, not setting your goals too high either. Just meet yourself where you at. Somebody else might be working out every day, but that ain't you. So we just really got to set our goals within reason. I think that makes a great difference too. What do you think?
Oh, I think all of that. But the other word that I wanted to get in there that I forgot is intensity. And intensity, especially when it comes to weight, doesn't mean heavy. Even when you're talking about cardio, intensity does not mean running as fast as you ran when you were 22, but you're now 53. Doesn't mean that. It means for your level, for your health, for your body type, for all of those, intense for that. Because a grown man can do an intense weight with some dumbbells, and the dumbbells can be between 15 pounds and 30 pounds, and get a great workout if you know what you're doing and you know how to engage in weightlifting with a degree of intensity to it. That's why sometimes personal trainers or somebody who can actually show you a routine is so valuable when it comes to that. Because without a routine, you go in there, you're wandering around aimlessly, you're using different machines, but they're for totally different muscle groups. So you're really not working one muscle group very hard. You're not really engaging in an intense workout because you really don't even know what that is. You just know what that word means. And you end up leaving and not coming back for maybe a long period of time because you don't really see what it's doing for you. You just know in the long run and in a general sense, this is good for me. I've read it. I've been told. My doctor told me to lose some weight and kind of get back in better shape. So I'm trying to do this, but I don't really know what I'm doing. That's why personal trainers are everywhere, because they realize a lot of people, and these are people usually a little later in life, they've accumulated some money, they may have a house, they may have their kids out of the house, and they're still working age, but they know they're nowhere near like they used to be. And they want to try to see if they can recapture some of that energy, some of that enthusiasm, some of that vitality that they had. That's why they're in the gym. But it has to be in the gym, not only with some purpose and satisfying that why, it has to be with a routine that you already have in mind. Because see, where personal trainers can be good is they show you a routine that works for you. Where they also can be good, especially if your money's pretty long, they give you enthusiasm. Because a lot of people are used to working on a schedule. And if your schedule is, I'm supposed to meet with my personal trainer at 5:30, they're used to going. If they're saying, well, I'm supposed to be at the gym at 5:30, they can find every reason in the world not to go there. Because the gyms some of these gyms are 24 hours. You can go anytime. So what's so special about 5:30? But if you're meeting somebody there, and these people are very committed to schedules, that's why personal trainers are sometimes important for a lot of people. It's not an absolute necessity, but it might be a necessity for some people.
Yeah, big ups to the personal trainers out here. I would agree. But for those of us that probably, money not long enough for that, Google could be your best friend. I mean, it's pretty much you can Google everything nowadays. And then another great thing is you have a lot of personal trainers, a lot of people that work out, that put their videos out, and they kind of give you a routine or help you get started. And I guess the whole thing is knowing your goal, what you're trying to do. So for me, it was about building muscle and then burning the little fat that I have. But more than anything, it was about building muscle. So I found a good routine for myself and stuck with it. I think another thing that helps is if you keep like a journal. That helps me a lot. Not that everyone needs one, but just as you said about the personal trainers, I think that it can really be beneficial because you can start, and it also helps you to see your growth because you see where you left off at, and then you pick up where you left off at. You can also start to see where you grow. Because like when I first started squatting, I remember I couldn't squat no more than like 40 pounds. And then I worked my way up all the way to probably 110 pounds, And so that's one of the ways that you can see your personal gains too. So I think journaling, getting you a routine, And like you said, some of us that need to get us a personal trainer, I think that those are all key factors that will help us a lot, especially with them, like you said, helping motivate you. But I think that, you know, motivation is like a gift. You got to have discipline. I think if anything to sustain, especially something like working out, you know, you need discipline just the same way you need to be disciplined to get up and go to a job every day, right?
You could do it based on discipline. You could do it based on punishment. Some people feel, okay, why do you go to your job? You like it? No. They pay you right? No. Why do you go? Because there's a punishment. Life punishes me if I don't. I don't have any money. My phone will get cut off. My car will get repossessed. I may get put out. Those are punishments. That's why I do what I do, because I don't want to suffer the punishment. However, whatever motivates you, whatever you think about it, however you put it, you just have to do it. Now, if you're doing something you hate, well, hopefully, if you have enough energy and you put some thought into your life, you'll figure out something else you can do and make a transition from something you hate into something that might either produce more money or more satisfaction in what you do at hopefully greater money. And that will create a change in life. That's usually the best way to do it, because I'm not a big proponent of doing something you hate unless that doing something you hate is making you rich, in which case when you get to a magical amount of money, then, you know, you can go into a semi-early retirement where you don't really have to work regularly. You can work sporadically because you have enough money to live the lifestyle, to pay the bills, and have a nest egg in reserve.
Mhm. Yeah. Some of us, you know, it takes discipline, it takes motivation, it takes, like you said, punish. You know, some of us, I guess that's a good perspective, the punishment. You know, a lot of us don't want to have to go without, so that'll keep you driven. I think that goes to that why. You know, you want to keep living this life. You know, you got to do what you got to do. What's another one of these New Year's resolutions that a lot of us make? So we spoke about, you know, getting fit. That's one of that's a big one. Everybody wants to try to get fit.
Make more money. That's
Make
another
more
big
money.
more money. Money, money.
Yes. That's a strong enough why right there. I need to make more money. But what's another one? So a lot of us want to make more money. A lot of us want to get fit. Some of us want to be better people.
A lot of us want to have better relationships, whether they're better relationships with our friends, or we need to get some new friends and dump some old friends because they may be a little too toxic, too full of drama. But basically, the people around us, we need a change of circumstances in our people. That's another big one.
Yes, that is a big one. Some of us might want to strengthen our relationships, or like you said, throw the whole thing away. That's a really good one.
Most people say, and this is only in extreme cases, I need to just get rid of a bunch of people, nothing personal. If I don't call you back, it's not you, it's me. However they put it, they need a radical change in the people in their lives. But that means you've been doing some things probably radically wrong. Most people only need slight adjustment to the people in their lives. You may have to get rid of one or two people, but most of the people, they're okay. You may not want to see and spend as much time with certain people, even though they're not full of drama, they're not toxic, but they don't add to your life. They don't produce anything positive. They don't want to go to the gym with you. They're not giving you inspirational ideas on different things you could do as far as investments. That's not their thing. They don't have a lot of connections to show you where they're hiring over here. You could make a lot more money with basically your skill set than you're making now, and you say you don't like your job. They're not those kind of people. So in other words, they're just nice people, but there's no real benefit to spending time with them. So you may have to alter how much time you spend with them because there's only so many hours in a day. And when you get to certain ages in life, you want to be able to maximize and be the most productive you can with the hours and the time that you have. And that requires certain people you're trying to find and then spend time with, because the spending time with them, you're going to see a direct benefit. Where other people, you just had an okay time, but you only got so much time for that.
That's right. I know another big one is a lot of people say they want to spend more time with their families, you know, especially us workaholics and stuff, we want to spend more time with our children, with our mates. I know that's another one that I've been hearing a lot of, which is not always an easy transition because again, you got to sacrifice something. That might mean less money, or something along those lines, less opportunity at work. So, it's hard to keep this thing balanced. So we're not saying that, there's nothing wrong with falling short from these things. I think that we need to understand that's part of it. Sometimes, the thing is just to try, put your best foot forward. And like you started the conversation off, it's not so much about the destination as it is the journey, right? So yeah, another thing that I know I heard a lot of that people said, I'm not taking no mess this year. You heard that one?
I have.
They say they're not taking this mess no more. So that means that at some point they're going to have to start setting boundaries, right? How successful do you think that we are when it comes to that resolution?
It depends on how much you are willing to sacrifice. Because when you set boundaries with people, some people will tell you, if we can't be a certain way, then I don't want you at all. You can't be around me. We have no more friendship. We have no more relationship. Go on about your business because you acting funny. You have to be able to risk that. Because if you can't risk that, then how are you going to change?
Right.
People like it the way they like it. They don't necessarily like it the way you like it. That's why the best kind of friendships are friendships where both you all feed off each other. Both you all basically benefit from each other in ways that are subjective, that you just feel better by being around this person, and tangible. They help you in ways you can point to. See that particular object right there? They help me get there. They help me achieve that. They help me accumulate that. They help me grow. They help me learn how to get that. To me, those are the basis for the best friendships, but they don't have to be every friendship like that. But you only have so much time to be able to spend with certain people. There's only so much time in a day, and a week, and a month. The more you spend with one person, the less time there's even available to spend with anybody else.
This is true.
So you have to be able to balance that off. And how you do it kind of depends on the person. But you better have a plan for it. Otherwise, there used to be a big saying when I was coming up, and that was wasting time. And you don't want to really do it. The younger you are, the more time you tend to waste. But when you get older, one day you're going to look in the mirror and say, I haven't got a whole lot of time to waste.
That fire get lit. I know what you mean. Yes. Well, one of my things with that when it comes to relationships, I'm a big advocate of just allowing the relationships to go as God put them in my life. So however God put you in my life, we kind of going to stay there unless it just naturally progress. Whereas you have some people who, we meet people, we want to make them a part of our life in certain ways, but sometimes that's not always the best thing, right? Sometimes if they introduced to you if God bring them in your world as a coworker, unless y'all start to grow a bond and y'all naturally start to grow, then maybe they should just stay a coworker, right? Or, mixing circles and different things like that. Maybe that's not such a good idea since it was already positioned a certain way. So I'm real keen on just allowing God to place people in my life as He sees fit. I don't really sit around and think about how they will fit in my life, how they benefit me. I just kind of let God do that. And when I step back, I can see His plan. I can see how these people that He has surrounded me with has benefited me in some form or fashion. What you think about that?
That's a good way to view it if you can make that happen. Because some people want to be in your life that you don't necessarily see a place for them in your life, but they see a place in your life for them. What you going to do then? Somebody's going to have to be told no.
Exactly.
No, I can't do it. No, I'm not going to do it. No, we can't hang. No, I'm not coming. No, I'm not going to be there. If you're okay with saying that, you'll be all right. But some people are not good at saying that. Some people can be coerced into getting into situations or even getting into relationships or friendships that they didn't really want to go. They didn't really want to be a part of. But because it's somebody you see all the time, and work relationships are real big on that because you see those people regularly, they all of a sudden have developed something that they didn't really even want. They just couldn't say no.
Right. Well, I don't usually have that problem too tough because, like I said, when I'm moving according to him, I really don't have that problem. You know, people invite me and be like, Stephanie, come do this, come do that. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I ain't gonna be able to make it. You give them enough no's and you don't show up enough times, honey, they stop asking you. It kind of go like that for me. But like you say, you have to get to that space to where you can say no. Usually, if it's something that don't interest me, if I'm not genuinely connected to whatever you offering, it's kind of like, nah, I'm sorry, I ain't gonna be able to make it. You know, I'm not nasty, like, nah. I'm just kind of like, I'm sorry, I got so much going on right now, I'm not gonna even be able to make it. I don't even want to lie to you, you know? So I don't really try to show them like I have any displeasure with them or I don't want to be bothered with you. I don't move like that, but I don't leave them hanging in the sense to make them think that I'm going to do something that I'm not. So if I'm not going to show up, I let them know I'm not going to show up. And I just feel like after saying that enough times or not showing up enough times, people kind of get it. Now, I do give room to let things genuinely grow. Sometimes I have met coworkers to whereas we really connected and we really bonded, and again, that grew into something more than just a coworker, just coworkers. We grew into friends or whatever. Some of us maybe even sisters or brothers to some degree. But again, I think that that's when we naturally let it happen. Then I think that you letting God move it. But when it's something that we just looking like, ooh, I'm gonna make this person a part of my world because they know this and they can do this and they could benefit me in this way, that could be kind of tricky.
Well, to me, that could be kind of impossible because you see something in them you like, you want, you desire. Though they have traits you like. But then again, those are probably traits most people might like. So they have no trouble making new associations. On the other hand, the individual looking at that may not have too many positive traits. That's why they identify that person and see if they can align themselves with them. They may be not being just be told no by that person. They may be getting told by a bunch of people. So they're going to need to do a lot of work to find their individual character traits and gifts and hone them up and polish them up and see if they can get to the point where their gifts and their personal character traits shine enough that they will be attractive to people just like they see attraction in other people.
Yes. Yep, that is so true. But on another note, before we close this thing out, I wanted to tell everybody about my book. I am finally publishing my book on January 29th. And I'm so excited. It's called Born in Pieces, Reborn as One. The subtext is twice a butterfly. So any of you guys want to try to support me, I will be honored to have your support. And you can go over to my website and you can purchase the book from there once it's launched, which is June 29th, or you can purchase it through Amazon. So basically it's a story about me coming from a place of brokenness where I just, I wasn't that happy with my life. I wasn't that happy with where my life was going. And I just kind of speak about that and I explain and express how I kind of turned that around or how the Lord actually turned that around for me. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Again, it's called Born in Pieces, Reborn as One. So
I will be one of the first buyers of it, but I want to have my copy autographed.
Of course, you got that. So so I guess we'll just close this out. And Keith, we're gonna close it out with some of your wise words. What you got for the people?
Well, there's a word that I occasionally come across and I use sometimes, hedonism. The pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain. Most people like to live life like that. However, it is a balance. If you are 100% one or the other, your life is probably out of balance. You're not going to get a lot of happiness out of that. Most people know that they cannot be 100% the pursuit of pleasure to the avoidance of everything else. They know that. But some people think that if you sacrifice 100%, that somehow that is going to put you ahead of the game or that is somehow going to produce a more pleasurable, fulfilling life. And I don't think that's the case. I think you have to have a balance. Now, I'm not here to tell you what that balance is, but you better be able to balance off that pain, that sacrifice, that work ethic with maybe a family, maybe some kids, maybe some good friends, some lifelong association, some spiritual nourishment, whether it's through reading, meditation, church, reading your Bible, whatever it is, to kind of get some balance in your life so that when you take everything and put it all together and you hopefully have a long life with some longevity to it and you look back on your life, you're not going to have a bunch of unfulfilled dreams, unfulfilled resolutions, and the words ringing in your head. If I had it to do all over again, I would have changed this. Everybody's going to say that about some things. But if you look back on your life and you said, if I had to do all over again, I'd have changed everything, then you have probably done things terribly wrong, and hopefully you're going to be blessed with enough life left and enough vitality left that maybe you can make some changes to get finally some of those things that you basically didn't put any importance in as you were getting old.
Yes, that's a good one, y'all. That's a good one. Yes, Keith. So I just want y'all to know I love you, I see you, and I hear you. Y'all have a good night.
Love you all.